Hello, this is Ted from ClassHero. Today I'd like to introduce you to ClassHero for Reading 2526. But before I get started discussing the reading product, let's start with talking about ClassHero, the company. So here at ClassHero, we believe if we can solve a teaching problem, then we can solve a learning problem. So what problem are we trying to solve for reading? Well, let's explore and find out. So ClassHero for Reading. Before we show you how we do it, let's start with why. What is the problem we're trying to solve? So each day, teachers are asked to teach a guaranteed viable curriculum to their students. But what actually really is a curriculum? Well, a high quality curriculum has first learning standards. What do we want students to know and be able to do? Secondly, it has a scope and a sequence in which we're going to teach those things we want students to know and be able to do. Third, we have a pacing guide. What is the time it's going to take to teach everything we want the students to know and be able to do, and pace that out for the year for that particular school or district. Fourth, we need the instructional routine. What are we teaching? How are we teaching it? What's our pedagogical approach to this instruction? And finally, what are the instructional resources we're bringing to bear to teach those standards? And that can be used within the scope and sequence and within the time that we have available to teach those learning standards. So for a teacher to put that all together is a relatively complex task. High quality districts usually have all of these source documents for that curriculum put together, but few have actually combined it all so teachers have what they need when they need it. Fortunately, we made ClassHero for Reading, which does that exact thing. It brings to bear all the resources a teacher needs to have for each topic and unit of instruction. So when a teacher first logs into ClassHero for Reading, and they have decided to choose our ClassHero for Reading activities, that they will be able to first come to a daily summary of how the students have completed those reading activities. And it will let them know whether they've completed the practice, they haven't completed the practice, what their accuracy rate was, if they didn't practice at all. ClassHero will give a quick summary at the teacher dashboard about the activities students have had. The teacher can review any week and find out what activity they did any week or day of instruction. We also provide a reading log so students can record the reading each day, say how much time they read, how many pages, and whether they liked it. So those are the activities. Now, if the teacher chooses not to use those activities, they will go right to the plan and teach page to be able to see the scope and sequence. So here's the module, tools and work, and the topic, learning to ask and answer questions. Then we provide them the instructional routine. What are they teaching first, second, third, fourth during the instructional day that includes that literacy block? And then what resources they need to be able to teach that. And we'll provide the teaching resources, the assessments, and the student activities. The teachers can also view it from a lesson view. So the lessons for each part of that instructional routine, if they're available, we provide that for the teachers, and they can click through those lessons to find the exact lesson they're teaching. They can also, if available, if we have a PowerPoint to download, they can download that PowerPoint, or they can go directly to that lesson. They can also view the activities the students are working on for this topic, and then they can adjust those skills based on what is available in the pacing guide, what standards are being taught. The teachers can add up to 5 skills at a time that the students can practice, and they can then set that and adjust that during the topic. And once they've decided what they want, they just click Done Editing, and then they can add that particular skill for the student to practice. Finally, we have the overview, the pacing guide. So here the teacher can find out when this topic is to start and when it to stop, what the essential question is for the topic, what's the overview of this topic, what the standards are that are to be taught during this topic, and what vocabulary words and sight words or high frequency words the student is to learn. And those will all be activities the student will have. So in this teacher dashboard, we help to organize all the curriculum for the teacher, all the components of a curriculum, so the teacher can focus on meeting the needs of the students instead of trying to hunt down all the resources and organize it into a unified whole. So that is what ClassHero for Reading 25-26 is about. We hope you enjoy it, and thank you for listening.